In a moment, we're going to be joined by our favorite guy. That's the TikTok handle for a TikTok content creator who is going to walk us boomers and Gen Xers over here through the new censorship regime that's underway over at TikTok. Related to that, we're going to discuss first the politics of not just the TikTok takeover, but the man who's at the center of it, and that's Oracle founder Larry Ellison, who is the on-again, off-again richest man in the world. He was briefly the richest man in the world when the Oracle stock blew up, went back down, so now he's like neck and neck with Musk and these other oligarchs. But we can put up this new article that I have with Murtaza Hussain over at Dropsite, and the whole story is worth the read because we're getting access to a bunch of email correspondence from the 2010s and the late 2010s that is really opening up a window into worlds that have been occluded for a long time, and there's some really fascinating stuff that we're putting up. So this was to start with. Ron Proser was at the time of these email exchanges that we're reviewing here, the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations. Marco Rubio, who in the email exchange they call Mario Rubio, was a senator from Florida. He had been elected in 2010 as a kind of pretty arch conservative. Like he came up with the Tea Party movement, and he's launching a presidential campaign. So Proser and Larry Ellison, according to these emails that we've obtained and that have not been previously reported, are emailing back and forth about a variety of different things. They talk about having dinner, and then they start talking about Marco Rubio. And Proser says, and we can put up this first email exchange here between them. I had a great time too, Ron, at dinner. I'm looking forward to the next time. Larry says, P.S. I'll tell you how dinner goes with Senator Rubio. And then we put up the response there. Larry, hi, how was the conversation with Mario Rubio? Did he pass your scrutiny? Did you have a chance to talk about Israel? Would love to chat. My cell is. Big hug. And again, thank you for a wonderful evening with you, Ron. A few hours later, Ellison responds in the affirmative. He says, quote, hi, Ron. Great meeting with Marco Rubio. I set him up to meet with Tony Blair. Marco will be a great friend for Israel. So this is 2015. Ellison then goes on to put $5 million into Marco Rubio's super PAC for the presidential campaign. Doesn't work out for him. As we know, Donald Trump gets into the race. Donald Trump wins. Marco Rubio, though, has now since become Secretary of State. Now, so backing up, Larry Ellison, he is an oligarch who has really kind of snuck into our politics. He's played a very effective, long and quiet game, although it's getting difficult for him to kind of escape as much public scrutiny as he has been able to in the past, just because of the sheer dominance that he's been able to display. Oracle is a database, a software technology that has, because it sells also to businesses, has put itself kind of everywhere in the world very quietly. Even though Oracle's it's not one of the top companies that you think of, but when it comes to its kind of persistence and its prevalence in your life, it's absolutely everywhere. Now, Ellison himself, I believe it was 2017, he made the largest ever donation to Friends of the IDF, which is an American nonprofit that supports the Israeli military. And this line here where he says, I set him up to meet with Tony Blair. That's key. So why on earth is Larry Ellison setting anybody up to meet with the former UK Prime Minister, who's most known for going along with George Bush with the invasion of the Iraq War? So after he becomes Prime Minister, Tony Blair sets up the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change. Larry Ellison has given or pledged more than $350 million. And I think we have an element on that one, to the Tony Blair Institute.
Wow.
Recent reporting by the New Statesman and Lighthouse Reports reveals what everybody had kind of already known about TBI, Tony Blair Institute, that it effectively has merged with Oracle in significant ways. Like you have board members who are both on TBI and also on Oracle. You would have Oracle employees able to basically just jump into the TBI calendars and schedule meetings with executives. So this New Statesman published this report that interviewed tons of Oracle and Blair Institute employees and said, yeah, basically, we're one and the same here. That the Blair Institute is acting as kind of a sales arm for Oracle. This is important because in the spring, this past spring, as Times of Israel just recently reported, Jared Kushner asked the Tony Blair Institute to come up with a post-Gaza, post-war, post-genocide reconstruction and redevelopment plan. Some of those details leaked. So the Tony Blair Institute did put together this project. As if you're following along, you saw that when Donald Trump announced that he was creating this board of peace that was going to be chaired by himself, he said the key figure on it was going to be none other than Tony Blair, which brings everything full circle. Obviously, at the center of all of this is Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who helped set up the TikTok deal. As a senator, Rubio, by the way, was one of the most outspoken against TikTok the whole time. And obviously, Rubio plays a role as well in the diplomatic lead up and the rollout of this Gaza plan, which, if the reporting is accurate, that the Blair Institute is an arm, effectively, of Oracle.
Or is influenced by them.
Influenced by Oracle.
Right, at the very least.
$350 million is going to buy you some influence in a nonprofit.
I think we can honestly all say that. Yes.
And being in regular meetings, and as this New Statesman reported, effectively,
it is interesting to me, Ryan. I know there was a lot of liberal freak out about Elon and Twitter. I think the Ellison family is way more effective right now. I mean, let's think about this. We have the TikTok connection now, in terms of the the data, which will be processed
You can put up E5 on this one.
E5, we can put that up there about, quote, I mean, you can't even make this stuff up. After buying Paramount, Larry Ellison's son now wants to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. This is David Ellison. This is the guy who loves Barry Weiss. Well, this is one of the richest families in the world who is now controlling CBS News, Paramount, Skydance, which is one of the biggest movie studios, Paramount Plus, which means a ton of the red meat content, which is the whole Taylor Sheridan universe, etc. Now they want to buy WBD, so they would own CNN, they would own HBO Max. Now they're going to own TikTok, not to mention Oracle, which is the backbone of the computer data centers of the entire
Which already does the data work for TikTok.
Yeah.
Which was the original
Right,
deal.
is the original thing.
Yeah.
So put that all together and you're like, hey, whoa. we got...
We've been chasing the wrong shiny object.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, leftists, wake up. Elon, yes, he's the villain of old. It's the Ellison family now.
It's wild. It's wild.
He's weird. Larry Ellison owns an entire private island in Hawaii. He owns the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and basically runs his own little kingdom. You can go read about it. It's wild. He has somehow... been under the radar. Obviously, he's been very influential on Republican politics, but the level of control now that this family has over American political discourse, and particularly has an unending, basically desire to shape American public opinion to be pro-Israel, we should all be very, very skeptical.
And so we also have a quote in this story from Oracle CEO Safra Catz saying, this is from one of the emails. We believe that we have to embed the love and respect for Israel in the American culture.
Okay.
They're very explicit about
And that was from 2015.
Yeah.
Right? This is before this is even a thing.
Yes.
This is 10 years ago.
And to your point about Ellison and his interestingness, let's roll E6. If you think you're not bothered enough. Let's roll E6.
Your body cams will be transmitting that. The police will be on their best behavior because we're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on.
When you come to government and what government's doing, there are artificial intelligence tools, and some of them I know that Oracle have developed around financial management for government, but also Tell us a bit about what, because you're right at the forefront of this revolution, what it means for what government should do in terms of its digital infrastructure, digital ID, data centers, and so on.
How do you take advantage of these incredible AI models? And the first thing a country needs to do is to unify all of their data so it can be consumed and used by the AI model. You have to take all of your healthcare data, your diagnostic data, your electronic health records, your genomic data. And in the Middle East, in the UAE, for example, they're incredibly rich in data.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out on that.
I regret to inform you it is too late. He is now basically the most powerful man in the world. Yeah. Just want to underline what he just said. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we are constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on.
See, this is where I'm just like, might as well be China, because at least there is the government, all right? And not Larry Ellison. I would at least take the government. I would take the authoritarian Chinese government over that.
Right, because there's at least some participatory democratic ways to pressure that government.
Right.
They don't have elections.
Not really, but
kind of, not really. Yeah. But here, we're going to have the worst of all worlds, because we'll have the outlet of fake elections where people's anger at the system can be channeled into these days where you go and check a box when it goes into a void. It's just poof, gone.
You got to be careful before you go down that road, Ryan. It might lead you to some interesting theories of governance. All right, okay. Let's go.
Look, we tried this one. And this is what we're getting.
That's true. All right, let's get to TikTok. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.